Welcome to School Leadership and Management B. My name is Dr. Daniel Kembangula. The contact detail where you can reach me is there, and my email, should you have issues that you need my attention. I'll take you through this presentation for School Leadership and Management B for 2022 examinations. The presentation starts as follows. You must make sure you prepare for your examination while there's ample time. When you start your academic year, you are given your materials already. Study them, and where things are not clear, make sure that you iron those things before examination start. And you must also not hesitate to consult the tutor. A final pass mark of 50% is required in this course, and which is calculated on 60% examination, 40% CA marks. And a sub-minimum of 50 must be obtained in examination to pass examination. In most cases, especially for those who have failed before, when you see your result showing sub-minimum not achieved, that means you never reached this 50% that we are talking about. So you must be able to obtain 50% in examination for you to be declared as a passed examination. Pay attention to some of the common used word in examination, so that you address the question as is required. For example, discussion, description, and critical discussion. You must make sure that when you are describing or discussing, you are giving a detailed description or explanation. You give positive and negative side, or you look at left and right, and you arrive to a convincing conclusion. We are starting with the business of the day, which is Unit 1. Unit 1, you must look at guidelines for developing good listening skills. Example include focus full on the speaker, and the effective communication skills in school, focus, okay. You must be able to know who are your audience, and you must make sure that there's a clear communication or within the school, or internal communication happen within the school between staff and between learners and all the people involved within the school. Advantages of written communication, that's another topic I want you to look on. Why is written communication so good? Written communication helps us in laying down apparent principle, policies, and rules for running of an organization. Also, it can be composed and read when the schedules of writers and readers permit. You are able to read at your own time, and you are able to look at what the information before the communicator tells you, because you have already the print out. The aims of effective communication. Why do we need effective communication? The effective communication is to make sure that you express the message clearly. Expression can be manifest itself through body language, sign language, word, or emotion. Effective communication is through the mode of communication we are passing our information. If you are angry, I can tell, oh, this person, something must have happened. If you are throwing a strong words to your learners, then the learners know, maybe something is not well with this madam or this sir today. Body language, you express also body languages. to pass your message. Furthermore, the goal of effective communication is to have a well-working team, because the message that is given there is clear. We move on to Unit 2. In Unit 2, I want you to define negotiation. Negotiation, you must define it. That is when two people sit to iron out their differences and they pass their message. School situation that requires negotiation. What are the situations in school that requires negotiation? This includes additional teaching responsibilities. Maybe you are told, okay, you become our school coach or a cultural group coordinator or a sport convener in the school. Now, if you are given such additional information or responsibility, then you have to negotiate. Okay, if I was teaching 4 subjects, can you at least remove one? Because I have already, you are adding additional workload. Those are things that requires negotiation. Also, poor management. If the management is just making its own decision without consulting the subordinate, then you need to sit on the table and come to conclusive outcome to say, okay, this we must agree, this we must not, we must not agree. So you come on the table. Those are issues, and there are more. Guidelines for effective negotiation. What are the best practices that helps us to effectively negotiate well? Be prepared. Know what outcomes you want and why. You must prepare yourself before the negotiation takes place to know what are you going to focus on. Also, do some research and investigation on the other part before meeting. You must know the other part so that when you are going to negotiate, you also know where they are coming from and what could be their strong part or point or weak point. Then you're able to iron out all those things. We move on to phases of negotiation. Phases of negotiation include determining whether there is actual any reason to negotiate at all. That's the first phase. You have to determine. Determine means to determine means you have to decide, is there a need to negotiate on this issue? Planning and preparing. Before you negotiate, you must plan what you want to negotiate and prepare for it. Have enough information about what you are going to negotiate on. Unit 3, phases of group formation. This includes forming and storming. Then we look at the intergroup dynamics. By definition, you must know what we mean by intergroup dynamics. And the stages of group work. This includes interdependence. If one group member does not perform his or her task, then it affects the other group's members. Also increase productivities and performance. All those are the stages of group work. You must know why other group is more productive and the other one is not productive. Guidelines for establishing harmonious relationship. The guidelines to establishing harmonious relationship include, to be harmony means you are humble. You can work with other people. Hence, the guidelines to do that, you must be approachable. People must not be afraid to approach you. Possessing an inviting personality. People should not be scared to come to your table or to your office. Without being careless, attract people to come to you when they need some encouragement and guidance. You must be able to put yourself in other people's shoes. Importance of sound relationship in the school. That's another topic that you need to focus on. Importance of sound relationship in school include maintaining a sound employee-employer relationship, which is essential for ultimate success of an organization, considering the prevailing high complex business context in today's business world. Importance of sound relationship means, why do you need to have good relationship in school? The employer must respect the employee must respect the employer. Then you can achieve the goals and objectives of organization. Why group work formation is needed in school. That's our next topic. Of course, teamwork is one of the best practices in today's business world, which includes also the school. Group work enables people to come together and reach agreement in a coordinated manner, because two heads are better than one. If you come together, you are able to achieve a common goal. Aims, and we move to Unit 4. Sorry for that. Aims or reason for staff developmental appraisal system. This is done to recognize good and identify areas of improvement. The appraisal is done to recognize those who have done well, and also to identify those who are not doing well, to be given assistance to improve in future. Steps of selection processes, mainly selection criteria. This include proved as accessible or verifiable during the selection process. Steps for selection process: when you are selecting your candidate, a new recruit, you must be able to verify their history or their information. If the person is saying, I was a teacher before, you must be able to verify that for possible selection of the current post. Aims and principles of human resource development. That's the next topic. The aims and principles of human resources development include human resource development aims to establish a culture of continuous learning and to improve the performance of individuals and groups within workplace. The principle of human development is to make sure that there's a improvement in everybody's who's within the organization. Informal ways of developing school staff. Informal ways, here we are saying, what other things can you do besides doing things in a formal way of developing the school staff? There are also other entities where you can take your staff and they can still improve. For example, take them to the museums so that they know the history of the country, what happens during Maharero, Mantume, Kaimenwa, and all those kings during those wars. What happens? When you take them there, that's informal, because they are only going to see, oh, so they were only using the bow and arrows. Okay. Then you also able to take them on site. Maybe you are teaching geography. You take them to the site where there are those things that the learner need to see themselves. And once they do that, even the teacher, they are able to learn fast and capture the important information. Also, this includes mentoring, which includes new staff members that can be mentored by more experienced staff members in the classroom in an informal way. Sometimes you also look at the experienced staff member who's teaching. Then this fight starts in his or her class. You check how do this teacher approach that situation before you encounter that similar situation. It's an informal way because you are just observing. We move to Unit 5. Unit 5, we start with the these things is kind of not clear, but it's the use of computerized information. This include organization. Computer allowed the application of different types of software that can help school keep track of their files, documents, schedules, and deadlines. The use of computerized information is very important because you can keep track of those files, or you can also make use of different softwares or different types of softwares, and that makes your work easier. Benefit of optimal time utilization. Benefit of optimal time utilization, which are increased productivities, also effectiveness. Those are the benefits of optimal time utilization, because if you are utilizing your time, or in other words, using your time wisely, you are likely to have high productivity and you are likely to be effective. Guidelines for managing time with regard to meetings. How do you manage your time during meetings? This includes identifying goals of the meeting. Your meeting was to talk about the learners' absenteeism. All of a sudden you are talking about alcohol abuse. You must know what you are meeting for. This helps to set stage for managing your time in a meeting, because you are not going to dwell on things that are not necessary. You are going to dwell on things that the meeting was called for. The key administrative duties in school administration is the next topic. The key administrative duties in school administration include order of an educational institution to operate successful. Okay, in order for an educational institution to operate successfully, it requires competent administrators, so that all those administrative issues are dealt with accordingly. Principles of effective time management. This includes set active, not just reactive, and also organize your work, your office work. Don't wait for mistake to happen and it's when you want to react. You must be active, monitoring what's happening. Is everything okay? Is everything online? In line with what we want to achieve. But if you wait for mistake to happen and it's when you want to react, that's a problem. So you will have a setback. We move to Unit 6. I hope we are all following. Unit 6, we look at financial control in terms of definition. You must know what we mean by financial control. That's just to check checks and balances of how finances are being used within the organization. That's my own working definition. Of course, you have to come up with your own definition as per your guide or as per your own working definition. Fundraising project, that's another topic. Fundraising projects such as government allows for fundraising to be carried out both principals and board on an optimal basis and in accordance with separate responsibilities of each part. Fundraising project in schools happens with involvement of the school board and the principals to make sure that this does not interfere with the day-to-day running of the school activities. That's why we say it's with the separate responsibilities of each day part. So, because fundraising, that's a different topic. That's not an academic issue. That's not an administrative task for the school. It's an additional task that you want to carry out. Furthermore, we look at records of incoming and outgoing finances. How do we deal with these issues? This includes by looking at incoming and outgoing money, and you must make sure that you record this accordingly, and it must be accepted by the accounting person. If you are saying we need 20,000 to go and purchase school books, you must check, is it really 10,000 that was given out? Were those materials bought? That's it. We move on to some of the benefit tourism can bring as a business activities, such as full use of school infrastructure, and they pay you money. Tourism can use your school hall maybe to come and showcase certain issues, or maybe your school has a hostel and it's a holiday time and they want to a cheaper accommodation, they sleep there, they pay you money. It's a very simple thing. Like I say, in some past presentation, I say some of these topics, you just need to apply your own knowledge on how these things are done on a daily basis. We move to Unit 7. Unit 7, we look at extra moral activities. We look at the the benefit, which include learning time management and prioritizing. One great benefit for learners being involved in extracurricular activity is that they will learn about time management and prioritizing things in life. Extramural activities include the sport activities and others. Games are guided by the time. The moment the student starts involving him or herself in extramural activities, he will know that this exam time I need to read. This exam time I have only 2 hours to write this paper. So they start prioritizing. So it's exam time, I must cut off social life, I must concentrate on my reading. So that's why extramural activities help students to improve in those areas. Principles of competence-based education that underpin the managing of the curriculum and instruction. The principle of competence-based in education that underpin the managing of curriculum and instruction include the learners advance through demonstrated mastery of skills. The learners happen to pick up those skills and master them, or they master the subject content. Competence-based education must also be developmental. The principle of competence here, we are looking at how competent a certain person becomes in certain area. So it develops you in a certain area of your life. Principals' roles or principals' roles in managing instruction. What is the job for the principal to manage instruction in school? You must have a vision. You must have an ongoing staff appraisal. Remember on the previous slides when we were saying appraisal is needed for motivating or improving. As a principal, you must be appraising those who are doing well and trying to tell those who are not doing well to improve. Unit 8. Unit 8, we are starting with this slide. Sorry for this invisible. I cannot even read it myself. There is, what is this? Learner of school board. Oh, I think this is responsibility of school board. Yes, responsibility of school board. This includes all aspects of school, including its financial control, accountability system, and approve the expenditure and capital budgets. So the school board are responsible to make sure that the money of the school is not wasted on unnecessary issues. They are able to tell that this accountability. The school cannot just be failing and no one is answering why is the school failing. They must also approve the budgetary issues in the school. Ways of promoting good school-community relation as a next topic. This includes writing a weekly newspaper, the newspaper columns, and school are good vehicle for fostering public engagement that focus on the community common goal. The school and the community can work together in different things. Sometimes we have a weekly newspaper where the parent and other stakeholders come and write the issues that are affecting the school, etc., etc. In addition, potential conflict areas of school with the communities. The conflict that happens in schools arise when people are competing for resources in the school. People have different opinions. People have different interests. People have different ideas. No, we want this to happen. Oh, we want this to happen. Those are the causes of conflict in the school with the community. Thank you very much. I hope where you have a problem, you will be able to communicate with the tutor and get clarity on issues that are not clear for you, or the best for your examination. And please don't wait for exam so that you start reading. You read as soon as you get your presentation, and as soon as you get your study guide, you start preparing already. Then when the exam comes, you are only revising. Thank you.